Stay tuned for the Splash Live. It's time for the Splash Live from Civic Center TV, featuring stories from and about people like you in the Greater West Bloomfield area. Simulcast on cable, 89.3 Lakes FM, social media, and the web. Now live from Green Media Center on Walnut Lake Road, it's the Splash Live.
Live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM. I'm your host, Jake Sheff, going over all of the biggest news and events from right here in Greater West Bloomfield. We gave you the unofficial election results here on the Splash Live on Wednesday, November 5th, reporting results directly from Oakland County, which included the Orchard Lake City Council election. Well, folks, those results are unofficial until the election is certified by Oakland County. And upon review, the race in Orchard Lake was as close as it could possibly be. It ended in a tie. Sean O'Brien and the incumbent Duane Sonneville each received the same number of votes. Unbelievable. So, what happens when a city council member election is tied? Well, according to a statute enacted in 1955, a simple coin flip and two folded sheets of paper decide the tiebreaker. Duane Sonneville won the coin toss and got to choose between one of two papers, identically folded and placed within a box, one labeled elected and one labeled not elected. And folks, she chose elected, and with that, the election was decided. Councilmember Sonneville will serve another 3-year term, and both herself and candidate O'Brien will live in the history books in the city of Orchard Lake Village. Absolutely unbelievable. Big congratulations to Duane on the victory, and stay tuned to the Splash Live this week, where we will be speaking with Duane on this history-making win. With the holiday season quickly approaching in West Bloomfield, everyone is on the hunt for the perfect gift. And recently, the West Acres community put together a lively showcase of local artists and artwork. I attended the annual West Acres Craft Show to hear from vendors and visitors on how great this event is and what it means to the community.
Oh, it's great. I have been here for about the last 6 years. I grew up in West Acres, so this is my neighborhood. I love to support this, and they've always had wonderful crafters here. The neighborhood supports the show very nicely. It's very exciting. There are so many nice people. This is my first booth that I've done by myself, so I'm having a lot of fun, and I've sold a few things, so I love it. It's been great. I love watching people enjoy everybody's different way of expressing their art. So it's just fun watching people like what people do and have fun talking and see new people, see people that have been around the neighborhood. So that's been fun too.
So what have you seen from everybody here today checking out the West Acres Craft Show?
Well, the turnout is fantastic. The place is very crowded. Everyone seems to be having a good time, and the vendors are wonderful. There are some new vendors here that I hadn't seen in the past, and all of the work is just top-notch, and it's a very, very good environment and happy, and it's fun today. It's exciting.
All the great things that the West Acres Craft Show is doing, it's all going to an amazing cause, isn't that right?
Yes, it is. It goes to a charity every year. They choose a animal rescue, and it also goes to continue the programs here at West Acres.
This year's charity for the West Acres Craft Show was the Michigan Animal Rescue League. a nonprofit animal welfare providing the highest quality of life to dogs and cats through rescue, medical care, and sanctuary.
I think it's so important that the community still do local programs like this, especially with everything happening in the world. Everyone has a lot of things going on, and this brings the community together, and you do get to see the wonderful artwork that some of the local artisans do that we wouldn't know about if they didn't have programs like this.
Yeah, it's really good to see the local stuff being done too and being showcased. You know, you got everyone from woodworkers like me to people are knitting, crocheting, and jewelry designers, and all kinds of different things. Just that there's so much local talent. I mean, if you look around, there's so many things there. So people are so talented doing different things that they love and enjoy.
I hope that when they come and see me, I have return customers because you're never going to see the same design. So when you come back, I'm not going to have the same thing that I did the previous year. So I'm hoping that you're wearing a one-of-a-kind piece that doesn't look commercial and that is unique, that nobody else is wearing.
So many wonderful forms of art on display at the West Acres Craft Show, from woodworking to paintings to jewelry. So much to take away, and all great ideas for those all-important holiday gifts. Can't wait to see all the gifts that are going to be given this holiday season. The West Bloomfield Police Department is inviting applicants to join its cadet program, a hands-on entry-level opportunity for those pursuing a future in law enforcement. Cadets support the department through essential duties such as taking reports, assisting with prisoner processing, helping at the front desk, conducting breath tests and fingerprinting, and aiding officers with data entry and station tasks. The program offers valuable experience for individuals enrolled in or recently graduated from criminal justice programs. Interested candidates can apply online through West Bloomfield Township's job portal until November 26th. And the website for that is wbtownship.org/jobs. It's one of the biggest and most popular events in Keego Harbor. Killer's Christmas will be taking place once again this year on Friday, December 5th at the Lodge Bar and Grill. The yearly event will be celebrating its landmark 15th anniversary. Organized by the Tom Kowalski Foundation, the event raises funds in memory of Tom Killer Kowalski to benefit children's charities. And here to give us a sneak preview of this year's event from the Tom Kowalski Foundation is Matt Riley, joining us now on the Splash Live. Matt, thank you so much for joining us today.
Jake, thank you for having me. Really appreciate you guys giving us the opportunity to get the word out even further.
Of course, really looking forward to this event. I had such a blast attending Killer's Christmas last year. I can't believe it's already this time of the year again. And like I said, this is the 15th anniversary of Killer's Christmas, which is amazing. What does that milestone mean to you and the Tom Kowalski Foundation?
Well, Vic, like you say, you can't believe that it's already been, a year since we were all in the room together. We can't believe that it's been 15 years, that we've been doing it, and since we lost Killer. But it's just like we are so heartfelt, and we can't believe that it's been 15 years. And we stayed with the community, and we just think the big guy's looking down on us with a big smile on his face.
Absolutely. I think he would be incredibly proud of how far this event has come throughout those 15 years. And for those who might be a little unaware, could you share the story of how Killer's Christmas began and why Tom Kowalski's legacy inspired this annual event?
Absolutely. So, as we all know, those of us who knew Tom knew that he was a big man with an even bigger heart. And he had a huge spot in his heart for children. And he didn't think that any children should go without at Christmas. So he started a small event in Keego at a bar called the Brew House. And there'd be he'd be himself, and maybe Stoney and Wojo would be behind the bar. And they'd raise a little bit of money, a couple $1,000 to help out the kids in Keego who went without. After his passing, a group of us got together and decided that this would not die with him. And we moved the event to the lodge, and we raised, I think the first year, maybe $18,000, and we kept going up and up and up. And I'm proud to say that last year we raised $144,000 on the night.
Wow, that's a huge milestone, and all money that's going to incredible purposes. Could you tell us a little bit of where all of this money goes and the many charities that this event supports?
Sure. All of it. So we have nobody on the payroll. I mean, we have a handful of expenses, but pretty much dollar for dollar of everything raised goes out to 4 charities. One is Fueling Kids' Futures, which is West Bloomfield Schools, where they make sure that the kids who are needy for food go home with 6 meals every weekend. Also, we have Team Joseph, which is children, mainly boys, with Duchenne muscular dystrophy. Defeat the Label, which is an anti-bullying junior high and high school group, and then a group called the Downtown Boxing Gym, and they have a program called Books Before Boxing. Believe me, it's not boxing, it's Detroit schools. Well, it's after Detroit schools, helping the kids get the education that they really need.
All amazing programs that this event supports, and we love to see it, Matt. And I'm curious what we're going to be looking forward to for this year's event for 2025. Are there any special programs, guests, initiatives that you can tease for what's to come this year's event?
Absolutely. A couple of things. One is we're chasing a goal, and we just think it's poetic a little bit that 15 years, we're going for $150,000, which will be a new record. We still got some work to do, but we're working hard. And an appliance store out in Port Huron, of all places, knows about us. Actually, it's a gentleman that I know, Nick Bonderek, who knew Killer back when I did, and every year he takes from his Black Friday and Small Business Saturday sales, he donates usually about 10% of all of the sales to a charity, and this year he's chosen us. So anybody listening who might be interested, Kimball Appliance, they can order online, kimballappliance.com. Anybody wants to drive out to Port Huron, buy any kind of appliances, bedding, what have you, we'd appreciate it.
That's right. Want to get as many people knowing about this event as possible. Want you to break that $150,000 goal that you have and to extend it even further. For those just joining us on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Matt Riley from the Tom Kowalski Foundation, who's giving us a sneak preview of this year's Killer Christmas event taking place at the Lodge Bar and Grill on December 5th, the 15th anniversary of this incredible event. And having had this event go on for 15 years, I'd imagine there's a lot of big moments that stand out within that time. What would you say are some of the most meaningful achievements or moments from the past Killer's Christmas events?
So in the past couple of years, Marissa Penrod, who a lot of the viewers probably know of, she is the president founder of Team Joseph. Her son Joseph has muscular dystrophy, Duchenne muscular dystrophy, and she just refuses to give in. And she started an organization that actually Tom Kowalski and I were a part of 14, 15 years ago. And it's going today. And the last couple of years, Marisa has gotten up on the bar. Any of you who've been at the event know that we like to do a lot of announcements standing on the bar. And she's shown us all the impact that we've made in some of these kids and their families' lives by getting them vans, wheelchairs, ramps, what have you. And it's kind of, it's tangible, right? You can wrap your arms around that, and everybody in that room feels the love, and we've helped make this happen.
You absolutely have. And with an event like this, I'd imagine it's not just the Tom Kowalski Foundation that's behind this. There's a lot of help that helps to put on this event every single year. How do you engage sponsors, volunteers, and the broader community to sustain the event year after year?
Well, it starts with the people at the lodge. I mean, Kelly, Albert, Nick, and the gang all at the lodge are just incredible. I mean, what they do for us and the way they roll out the red carpet and help us. Then we have an incredible group of volunteers that come from some of the charities. Team Joseph supplies us a lot of volunteers. There's a lot of regulars at the bar who jump in, and we probably have 30 volunteers on a given night. And then the sponsors. I mean, that's something that's kind of grown organically over the years. The first couple of years, first probably 7, 8 years, we didn't have sponsors. And then we realized, you know what, let's just sponsor everything. So I'll just give you an example. Zott Ford sponsors the bathrooms. And if anybody walks into the men's or the women's restroom, they're going to see Zott Ford stickers everywhere. Christina Gennari Homes sponsors the valet parking. So when people pull up, the valets are wearing her T-shirts and hats. And the sponsors have really gotten involved, and they also help us promote the event.
All that help everywhere you look. And yeah, people put those sponsorships and put those ads everywhere they possibly can. Everybody wants a piece of this and everybody wants to help out. Let's go back to how this all got started, to the man who inspired this event, Tom Kowalski himself. How do you ensure that Tom Kowalski's values and mission still permeate the event, especially as it continues to grow?
4 simple letters. WWKD. Whenever I have a decision to make and it's coming down to something that's near and dear or that's about the heart of the event, I ask myself, what would Killer do? And it's one of the reasons that we've never left Kego. Tom was all about West Bloomfield, Kego Harbor, Sylvan Lake. We've had offers to move the event to Royal Oak, to bigger venues, and we might be able to raise a little bit more money, but we would lose the spirit of Tom in the event itself. And anyone who's been in that room that night, and I hope I see everybody on Friday, knows how special it is. It's like, and as I'm talking right now, I'm literally getting goosebumps thinking about that room. It's so special, and it's like one big family that all comes together, and a lot of it is rooted. 90% of it comes from the area. It's also why we've never had an admission. I've had people say to me, you can raise more money, charge $10 at the door, charge $20 at the door. Never. Killer would never have it. He would never have it.
You're absolutely right, and you're right in describing the atmosphere. I remember it very, very well from last year. The energy, the mood, like everybody was happy throughout that event, and you could definitely feel Killer's spirit throughout it all. Now, Matt, beyond dollars raised, how do you measure the success of Killer's Christmas? Is it through stories, long-term partnerships, or possibly something else?
A lot of it is the difference that we're making. I've been lucky enough to be invited to every one of the charities that we support, to either their homes, their events, and I've seen the people that are either afflicted with Duchenne or are getting bullied in school, et cetera. And just to see the difference we're making there. But it's also, when you go out in the community, the fact that this event has been recognized as helping children, and also when you just put a picture of Killer up there, and it's one of the things that I just love to see, because I just look at the big guy, and unfortunately we lost him early, but he always looks the same. He always looks the same, and I'd like to think that he's proud that we're keeping his memory alive. I mean, we're not keeping his name alive, because everybody's always going to know Killer. It's on the press room at the Lions headquarters. There's a scholarship named for him, a journalism scholarship at the Lions, but we're keeping his memory alive. And what he did, and the good that he did.
You are absolutely right. Every time you look at that face, you are reminded of the amount of impact Killer has had on this community. Matt, I'd love to keep talking about this. I got a couple more questions for you.
Sure.
We're at the 15th anniversary right now. What are your hopes or your vision for the next 5, 10, even the next 15 years of Killer's Christmas and the Tom Kowalski Foundation?
Well, I told everybody I work with that I'm not going to set goals anymore and torture them. But who knows? I mean, I've said that 4 or 5 times in the past. But I think what I'd love to do is I would like to get the next generation involved. I'd like to bring in some younger people. We're not, none of us are getting any younger. And there's some people that I've talked to. Anybody out there that's listening that would like to get involved, Jake knows how to get a hold of me. I'm looking for people who want to take it to the next level and bring in the next group of people.
I love that. Want to get as many people involved with this event as possible. Last question, Matt, where can people go to learn a little bit more information about this year's Killer Christmas and how they can get involved and how they can help out?
Sure. Just killercares.org, On the website, we've got everything out there. That's got all events. It's got a countdown to the event. We're on Instagram and Facebook and all the social media. And I apologize. Any of my friends who are watching this are going to laugh. I've never been on any social media. I'm of that age. But there's a Killer Cares pages on everything that are posting daily. But killercares.org, all the information's there.
That's where to go to learn as much as you can about this event, and we hope to see as many people out there as possible. Matt, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Jake, thank you so much. Look forward to seeing you a week, well, 2 weeks from this Friday, and everybody else. Thank you.
Of course, I will be there, and I'm sure a lot of other people will be there as well. Once again, Friday, December 5th at the Lodge Bar and Grill is the time and place to celebrate Killer's Christmas and to celebrate Tom Kowalski's impact on the community. Recently, in West Bloomfield, scam calls have been causing trouble throughout the community, with some callers claiming to be West Bloomfield Township officials asking for money and personal information from residents. It's a situation West Bloomfield Township wants to get out ahead of right away. And recently, I spoke with West Bloomfield Township Treasurer Terry Weingarten about how the township is responding and what residents need to look out for. Terry, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thanks so much for having me today. I really appreciate it.
Of course.
Go ahead. Thank you so much. There's been a lot of scams going on. So the current big scam we have is if you come before one of our commissions, planning, zoning, and you think that you're going to be able to do the building project that you're so excited to do, you might get an email from the township, but it isn't from the township. And it will look like a real invoice because these people have really become more sophisticated. So it used to be when you got an email, there would be spelling errors, grammatical errors. It didn't really sound like the kind of English that we speak here. However, with AI technology, the scammers are getting a lot better. So if you get an invoice from the township asking you to wire or ACH funds, just know we don't do that. We have the same ways to pay that we always have. So you can always come in person and pay by check. You can go online through our website and there are ways to pay. You can use our Dropbox and pay. Sending electronic funds, never gonna happen. We will never, ever allow that. Also, realize that as government, we have certain email addresses. So for instance, this is kind of a copy of what it looked like. It looks real, but if you look at the top, you'll see it's not wbtownship.org that you're getting the email from. It's probably some strange email address. Just like was mentioned in the last portion, if you get a phone number coming through or an email address you don't know, AI is making it even a little easier for the bad guys to make it look legitimate. Always say, you know what, this sounds a little off. Let me call you back or let me email you back. Go to our website, look up the phone number, 248-451-4800, call into the main line and ask to talk to the department, or go to our website and click on a link to send a message to one of us. Don't trust that the inbound call or email is legitimate. Make sure that you're taking control of the situation and verifying.
That's absolutely right. And it's great to hear that you guys are on top of this and you are making sure that everybody knows to watch out for emails like this. How did you first become aware that people were receiving these fraudulent emails?
So we actually were sent a copy of this email from a resident, and they unfortunately were scammed. And the problem is we didn't receive the funds. So we do have an FBI case set up for this. So we take these scams very seriously, and we realized that we needed to let our residents know. So I will be, I have just enough time to create an insert for the tax bill. I will be sending this information in my tax bill this year, which is going to be mailed out very soon. People receive it around December 1st, showing kind of what the fake invoice looks like. But like I said, just remember that's not how we're going to communicate with you. And also remember, if anybody's ever kind of pressuring you, like you must do this now, it's due now, there's an emergency, anything like that, they do it so that you'll just react, take a beat, breathe, call a friend, call a relative, call us, and just say, this sounds a little off. What do you think? And usually your friend, relative, or town hall will say, that doesn't really sound legitimate. And then always do your due diligence, because there's just a lot of very sophisticated scams. They can even replicate how we look now. So for instance, I'm on this interview right now, which means they know what I look like. They know what my voice sounds like. They technically could mirror me and have me calling you. So just because you think you know someone's voice, ask some questions that would make it obvious if they were really them. And like I said, always be the one who initiates the contact if you can.
All great things to be aware of. And you're absolutely right. These scams are getting a lot more, people are getting a lot more clever with these scams. And like you said, with AI, it's becoming harder and harder to detect things like this and to separate fact from fiction. So I'm curious, what ways legitimately do township officials typically reach out to residents, and how can people verify if that contact is real?
So we normally mail bills, like for instance, your tax bill, your water bill. Unless you've requested an auto pay on your water bill, you're going to get something in the mail. We talk to people via the phone or emails coming from our emails, but we'll never have a link in the email asking for money. We'll never in an email say, click here and pay us. We'll always have you go through the website or through one of the normal payment processes, which normally people just come in and pay by check at the counter. So you just think about the mechanism. It's never going to be an electronic form of payment that's not initiated through our website or through us directly.
All right, great things to remember and ways to know if things are legitimate. Terry, how really important is community awareness in preventing scams like this, and what can neighbors do to help each other stay informed?
So that's a really good question. I think sharing this information with people, making sure people know. And also, any of us can be targets, right? So like I said, especially if you have elderly relatives, neighbors, parents, they're usually a bigger target because these scammers figure that they're more trusting and that they might not be as technologically savvy. So obviously, any of us can be targeted, and many of us have fallen for scams. But just be careful. Verify the information, and remember too, we're never going to ask for gift cards. That's always a big flag, right? Any electronic payment, gift cards. Anything where you're giving personal information, don't give your social security number to anyone. Like the bank, for instance, they're not going to call you. The IRS, they're not going to call you. We're only going to return a phone call. So just think about, how were you communicated with? Like if somebody sends you a text message and you don't know them, don't answer it, just delete it. A lot of times it's like a phishing where they want to build a confidence with you and then they think that you'll trust them. So just remember, if somebody's contacting you don't know, they're not your friend, and you have to keep your radar up.
You're right. It's little things like that. That's how they reel you in, and that's how they get you to disclose very, very sensitive information. All things to watch out for. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with West Bloomfield Township Treasurer Terry Weingarten about some recent scam calls and scam emails that have been coming through of people impersonating West Bloomfield Township officials, and things to watch out for to know if these forms of contact are legitimate. Now, Terry, you touched on this just a little bit ago, but obviously the rest of West Bloomfield Township has become informed with this, like the police officers. Are there partnerships with local law enforcement to track down and report these kinds of fraudulent activities?
Oh, absolutely. So even if somebody just contacts you and tries to scam you, let us know. Call the West Bloomfield Police Department. The case that we were made aware of did move all the way through, so the FBI is aware of it, because this is a very serious matter, that they're basically sending an email pretending that you owe money to the township. And it was a lot of money. It was thousands of dollars. So that wouldn't be how we do it. Like I said, we wouldn't send you an email and ask you to wire or ACH money electronically. We just wouldn't do that. But if you think somebody's trying to scam you, let the police department know. If it's legitimate, which usually it's not, but if it is, they'll let you know too how to get in touch with us and we can verify it for you. Always verify. If somebody says that you owe money, don't just pay it. Always verify and then pay it. It just takes a moment to make a phone call. So it's really important to keep law enforcement involved because they do track this. Years ago, we had a check scam where people were stealing our checks through the mail system, washing them, and then sending them to people that we didn't owe money to. And then they'd say, oh, we sent you $10,000. Sorry, it wasn't yours, but you can keep it if you send us back like $9,500. And people would do it. And so then the criminals would keep the difference. And when the people went to cash the checks were fake checks. So they're always coming up with new ideas on how to scam people, unfortunately.
That's right. And if you know of anything that has come your way, any suspicious emails or any suspicious phone calls, you can text 248-975-9200 for any concerns. You can call that number with any of your concerns. Once again, that number is 248-975-9200. That is with the West Bloomfield Police Department. All very, very important information, Terry. You've given out a lot of ways for people to stay aware of these suspicious text or emails. What would you say is the biggest piece of advice above all else about safely handling these unexpected texts and emails of anyone claiming to be with the township?
You're going to think this sounds too simplistic. Take a big breath. Take a deep breath. If somebody's saying you owe money or you're in trouble or someone you love is in trouble, just stop. Take a deep breath and calm down and go slow and methodically. They're hoping that you're going to be stressed and anxious. And when people are stressed and anxious, they're not as careful. So if there's something coming at you that's stressful or hard financially or someone's in trouble, take the breath and then say, I will investigate this. Thank you. And then make that phone call or email yourself to verify the information is correct.
You're absolutely right. Above all else, the most important thing to do is don't panic. Let everyone who needs to know what is going on, and people will take care of it from there, and you will be okay. That is, of course, the biggest thing everyone can remember. Terry, thank you so much for this conversation. I got one more question before we wrap things up. Looking ahead, how can residents stay connected with official township updates to ensure that they're getting accurate information from the right sources?
Well, first of all, we post these type of things on our website. Second of all, in the case of this scam, since it's such a sophisticated scam, I'm putting a message in my tax bill, but you always can call Town Hall. We have an open door policy. We're here every day. We're happy to talk to you. And also, as you mentioned, the police department, the administrative non-emergency line, they're aware of what's going on. And we all work together. I mean, we work with each other on a daily basis. We're very fortunate that all of our public safety and Town Hall, we really are an integrated force to protect you.
You're absolutely right. All of these great resources working together to make sure stuff like this does not happen. Terry, thank you so much for joining us today here on The Splash Live.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
Everybody's working hard to make West Bloomfield safer. Hopefully these scam calls will start to go away now that this accurate information has been put out there. We really appreciate Terry Weingarten for taking the time to talk with us here on The Splash Live. With recent government news putting SNAP benefits in danger, the call for food services and drives is higher than ever. And several different religious groups have been lending their hand to assist in the growing need. Covenant Baptist Church is holding emergency food pantry curbside pickups on Saturday, November 22nd to make sure families are fed this holiday season. Minerva Owens, the director of the emergency food pantry, joins us now on The Splash Live to tell us more. Minerva, thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you for having me.
Really happy to have you with us. Very important conversation to be having around a time like this. Could you explain what inspired Covenant Baptist to begin hosting emergency food drives, especially focused on end-of-the-month needs?
Absolutely. So our pastor identified a need in the community based on community residents basically calling the church, in the third or fourth week of the month when their fixed income was, coming to an end. and they would request some assistance from the church. And the pastor at the time said back in 2019 that this would be a good outreach program for our community to create, food assistance programs. So we've created this monthly distribution to pinpoint those specific food insecurities on the last 2 weeks of every month. So we do this monthly and we pick a day. The next one, as you can see on screen, is Saturday, November 22nd. It is our Thanksgiving meal kit, including all kinds of different items, but certainly focused on the Thanksgiving meal.
That's right. And all of these resources are very, very important, especially this month more than ever with the holidays coming up very, very soon. Minerva, what types of food or essential items are typically distributed during these emergency drives?
Well, every month we try to focus the distribution on specific pantry items that every family goes through. Things like milk and eggs and cereal and oatmeal, other items of pasta and mac and cheese for young kids, peanut butter and jelly and bread and those types of things. We consider those basic staples that most families want and need. So in every distribution, we do include those specific items. But again, for this Saturday, we are also including a Thanksgiving meal kit that has a turkey and all the side dishes included in that box.
Perfect. Making sure every family in the community gets to celebrate Thanksgiving the right way. I love to see it, Minerva. And have you seen a growth in the number of families needing assistance towards the end of each month?
We have certainly, as the weather gets colder, we notice a spike in the number of community residents that come out to get a box. But we are preparing for more than double of the community members coming out this Saturday. It is going to be one of our largest distributions, and just so thankful and grateful we have enough volunteers to help us out this week, because it will be one of our largest distributions. But yes, we are certainly seeing a spike in community residents requiring help.
I'd imagine so. With the holidays, and not only that, but with the government news also coming into play, the possible removal of SNAP benefits. How does the timing of the SNAP benefit news influence the demand you see for emergency support?
Well, certainly the timing is not ideal. Again, when it becomes cold out, we do have more community members coming out to get food. But what we're struggling with here is a huge spike in demand that we're not yet sure we can handle. We're certainly prepared for Saturday, but we don't know what the unknown is and how many more community residents will be coming our way in the next few months.
You guys are prepared and you guys are ready to help as many people as you possibly can, and that is what's most important. For those just joining us right now on the Splash Live, I'm talking with Minerva Owens, the director of the Emergency Food Pantry with Covenant Baptist Church, talking about their food drive pickups. One of them is taking place on Saturday, November 22nd, just in time for Thanksgiving, and helping out families all throughout Greater West Bloomfield who may not have access to these food resources in the typical way. Now, Minerva, can you describe the volunteers and the partners who help to make these food distributions possible?
Yes, so I will say the members of Covenant Baptist Church have really come out to support this outreach program. They are there every month to pack and prepare and get the boxes ready. They are there on distribution day to make sure every community member that needs a box will receive one. In addition to our Covenant members, we do partner with Meijer, who has provided us the opportunity to purchase food at a wholesale price. We have received grants from companies like Ford Motor Company and from Amica Insurance. And then, of course, Costco has also been a great partner for us, trying to provide us with as much assistance as they can as well. So we are reaching out to the community, looking for more opportunities to see who can help us We have a dedicated channel, direct to West Bloomfield residents, in addition to other community residents in Southfield and Pontiac that do come out in Commerce. So certainly we have this dedicated channel, and we're always looking for more volunteers and more corporate partnerships to help us, push this through and to try to alleviate some of the food insecurities, especially in the last couple weeks of every month.
I love hearing all of these big names helping you guys out and helping to assist the community in any way that they can. Now, I want to know a little bit more about Distribution Day. What does a typical Distribution Day look like from preparation to the moment the families arrive? Sure.
Distribution starts a month in advance, where we are preparing and ordering all of the food that we need. Then the Friday before the event, a bunch of the volunteers will come out. We do have volunteers from either corporate businesses. We have volunteers from Girl Scouts sometimes that come out to help us out, and we prepare all the boxes. That's usually happening the Friday before the event. And then on Saturday, we set up a curbside pickup for our community members. The front of our church is set up as a U-shaped driveway, and community members come in. The recipients come in on one side. They basically open up their trunk. We do get a little bit of information from them, so we know who to contact the next time we have a distribution. But during that time, they pull up, they open up their trunk. We add in a box equipped with milk and eggs and everything else that they could potentially need, and then they're on their way. It's a very efficient process, and it's one that I know our recipients are so happy to receive a box when they start learning about what we provide to our community.
I'd imagine so. It's an efficient and streamlined system that's helping as many families as they possibly can. And I'm sure a lot of people watching this are going to want to help and get involved in any way that they can. How can members of the West Bloomfield community support or get involved in these emergency efforts?
The best way is to get involved through one of our volunteer events. Call the church office, Covenant Baptist Church. It's literally Covenant Baptist Church or church office at Covenant Baptist Church, and you can email us, you can call us, get on one of the volunteer events, and that would be very much appreciated. If you're looking to donate, again, same concept. You can call us, and we'll be happy to come and pick up the donated items, or if you'd like to drop them off at the church, we'll gladly accept those. But again, we are a very specific channel that is well developed in West Bloomfield. So if any of the corporate businesses or area businesses are looking for an avenue to help us and to help relieve food insecurities, we are open to it, and feel free to contact the church, and we'll get it set up.
All right, great ways to get in contact with you and to be helping out. Minerva, I got a couple more questions before we wrap things up. With programs like this, what gaps in the broader food assistance system do you hope that these drives help fill or highlight?
One of our strengths is our location. We are nestled right in the heart of West Bloomfield, and other larger food banks tend to be a little bit further out, and not everyone can actually drive to them. So what I'd like to see is perhaps Covenant become a satellite office for some of these larger food banks, and bring in these donated items so that we can have something that is nestled right here in our community and help those that certainly are in need. And there is a real need. We see it every month. And certainly if we can partner with some of these larger food banks, I think we could be certainly helping more individuals.
I love that. All great ways to help out the community and beyond the community. Minerva, looking ahead, and this last question, looking ahead, what are your goals for growing or improving Covenant Baptist's food assistance programs?
We're looking for a consistent stream of income. from a corporation, a company that's perhaps within West Bloomfield that wants to help their local community. We're also looking to partner with Gleaners or Forgotten Harvest, again, as a satellite location, so we can help more individuals in our local community get food assistance. Those are our main goals for sure in 2026.
And we hope that those goals get accomplished and you're able to help out so many more people. Minerva, thank you so much for joining us today here on the Splash Live.
Thank you so much for having me.
Of course, food drives and food donation systems like this one are here to help as many families as they possibly can. And especially at a time like this with the holidays, we want to see as many families get fed as possible. So we really appreciate Minerva for taking the time to talk with us on the Splash Live. Pathways to Parenthood, a community event hosted by Temple Israel in West Bloomfield, is going to be taking place on Thursday, November 20th from 7 to 9 p.m. Whether you're exploring options for growing your own family or simply seeking to learn about different family building pathways, this event offers a safe space to learn, connect, and feel supported. Taylor Weintraub, the regional manager of the Jewish Fertility Foundation, joined us on The Splash recently to tell us what the event entails.
Happy to have you on as you are going to be joining Temple Israel for this event coming up very soon here in later November. The name of the event is Pathways to Parenthood. Take us through that, because that kind of does encapsulate a little bit of everything that's going on here, exploring different ways that people can move towards starting a family, but being prepared for it.
Yeah, so the Jewish Fertility Foundation, our mission is to help families that are on a family building journey. We give grants, emotional support, mental support to those going through infertility and beyond. And so one of the big things that we do is, just because we're giving grants for fertility journeys, that's not always the path for everybody. So we always want to educate and give people the opportunity to see what else is out there. They don't have to just hit a wall on a fertility journey. There are other options and other opportunities. And another mission of ours is to always educate people on these different paths and these different journeys. So one of the events that we have created at JFF is Pathways to Parenthood, to help educate those going through these family building journeys and their loved ones.
And so as parents or potential parents are considering starting a family, a lot of the challenges that they're addressing beforehand are typically the logistical challenges. And there are some pretty common ones and some that maybe aren't so commonly considered before a person or a group begins to start their family. But there's also those emotional challenges also. What are some of the common emotional and logistical challenges that your organization helps families consider before they get started with this process?
Sure. So I think one of the big things that people always think about is fertility treatments and how much it can do to your body and how it's emotional, but it's also very expensive. So the financial aspect really puts a strain on people, not just financially, but emotionally in that sense. There's a lot of logistics, period, that goes into each journey of building a family, whether that be legal aspects, financial aspects, the medical aspects. There's a lot of testing that has to be done, whether you are going through it yourself or you are using a surrogate or you are using a donor, adoption, all of these things. There are home visits and tests, and a lot of the logistical stuff can also lead to the emotional turmoil that can come with it. And so with JFF, our goal is to provide not only the education and, of course, what we can do financially, but also the emotional support.
And so the speakers on this panel that will be taking place Thursday, November 20th, 7 p.m. until 9 p.m. at Temple Israel right here in West Bloomfield. It's going to include experts from the Jewish Fertility Foundation of Detroit, as well as Rabbi Jennifer Kaluzny from Temple Israel and Carrie Provisor, who is a licensed social worker as well, kind of encapsulating a few different elements of the community and a few different elements of support systems that go into especially new parental units as they begin a family. And how important is it, in your experience, for individuals that are considering starting a family or actively trying to start a family to hear some of these stories and hear some of these perspectives as they begin this journey themselves?
I think it's almost as important, if not just as important, to hear both the personal standpoints and the professional standpoints. Of course, the professionals are the ones that have been doing this forever and know what your options are for the most part and things like that. But I think that's not going to help you see that there are people who come out of this on the other side and there is hope there. It's also important to hear not just the good stories, but I also think the not so good stories, so that expectations can be there and you know what to expect. And your loved ones should hear these things as well, because they need to know that it's not just because you're doing IVF does not mean that you are getting pregnant. Some of these women, unfortunately, going through IVF go through many, many rounds, and it doesn't always end with a baby. So I think it's important to hear all of these perspectives and what people have gone through and how they've gotten out on the other side, and just the opportunity to know that they're not alone when they hear these things.
And it's important, too, to consider these different stories, to hear these perspectives, to begin those discussions, because whether it is a family that's going to consider IVF or needs to consider IVF to start the journey to beginning a family of their own, or they don't need that, these stories can be very important in helping them learn a little bit of the process, eliminate some of those negatives that they may encounter as a result of hearing stories of people who have been there and been through that and endured that and gotten to the other side. But also, it forms that community, and I'd imagine reduces some of the loneliness of this individual or these individuals that are going through this process, typically as one unit. Now they've got more of a community.
Exactly. So this is a way to show that we have this community here for them. There are always resources there every step of the way.
And that's why this is an important discussion coming up in just a couple of weeks, very shortly from now, November 20th. It'll be a Thursday night, 7 p.m. to 9 p.m. Pathways to Parenthood at Temple Israel right here in West Bloomfield on Walnut Lake Road. And so as you go through this and you are having these discussions with people, why is it significant to explore multiple family building routes, not just, of course, the traditional routes, but also adoption, surrogacy, fertility treatments, as you mentioned, because it's not always a one-size-fits-all journey for parents or a unit of parents.
Exactly. I always say it's not a linear journey. Even if you end up doing IVF and having a baby on the other side, it's never linear. Families hit walls all the time with one path and may need to explore another one. And it's important to know that there are other options. Just because IVF may not work for you doesn't mean there is nothing else out there. And especially with all the logistics that go into it, not everybody's eligible for all of these paths. And it's not something that maybe they can do or it's feasible for them. So it's important to know that there are options.
And those options are going to be available to you in person, and you'll be able to get connected with these expert resources as well for even more consultation on different places you can look for additional research and additional resources so that you can learn more about these topics yourself after these discussions. For more information on Pathways to Parenthood, if you want to attend on Thursday, November 20th, templeisrael.org/events is the place to go for more on that. And then beyond that, what type of resources can people expect to learn more about as they do attend this discussion and they do have a chance to interface with some of these experts and other potential families?
I think, first of all, it's really important if you are coming to hear these paths, try and bring your loved ones too, because this will also be an opportunity for them to hear how to best support you on your journeys and get a better understanding of what it is that you might be going through. There also will be, of course, the logistical resources. So, for example, we have Alexis Cyril joining our panel, and she is a family and reproductive attorney out of New York, who's also barred here in Detroit, in Michigan. But she is a wonderful resource because all of these paths almost involve some sort of legal aspect, and not many people know that. So that's really important to hear. We'll also have some different resources there in terms of financial aid, not just us at JFF, but a couple other organizations in the area that can help with that. Family building consultants. That's a huge one because people don't know where to start. And I think that's the most overwhelming part of a journey is just getting to step one.
No one parent or no one family can really do this alone, go through this journey entirely solo or entirely as that maybe two-person unit, and neither can one organization like yours at the Jewish Fertility Foundation of Detroit provide all these resources and all the support all on your own. So how does collaboration with other organizations in the Metro Detroit area factor into the consultation you're providing to individuals at an event like this coming up in West Bloomfield, as well as the resources that you're then pushing them to after the fact for them to get more of that individualized help and care that they may need?
So yeah, it just like family building takes a village, so does JFF for sure. And so we have a really tight connection to our community, which I think is really wonderful. One of the biggest connections I would say that we need to help us get through to helping people is our connections with our fertility clinics here in Metro Detroit. Anybody who is awarded a grant through JFF is part of one of our partner clinics, and our partner clinics also offer discounts to those grantees going through their treatments so that hopefully that grant can go further, because as much as we wish we could pay for entire rounds of IVF, it's not something that we're able to do all the time. So those discounts are really helpful. We also work a lot with acupuncturists and local therapists and different things and organizations and people that also assist in fertility, because it's not just, the treatments itself, and it's not just the money. It's also the things that you feel you need to do for your body going into it. We also have a lot of collaborative partnerships on things like this event. For example, Temple Israel is fully sponsoring this event for us, which we're so thankful for. And with the Robert Sosnick Life Center there, it really just makes sense for us to be doing this with them to help families going through these challenges.
The website for more information, temple-israel.org/events. Top of that page will be Pathways to Parenthood. Click on that. You'll have all the information you need about attending this event Thursday, November 20th at 7 p.m. at Temple Israel on Walnut Lake Road right here in West Bloomfield Township. Joining us on the program today is Taylor Weintraub from the Jewish Family Foundation, as well, Jewish Fertility Foundation of Detroit, as well as we discuss this upcoming event. Taylor, if people are not able to attend on November 20th for this Pathway to Parenthood event, what lasting words of encouragement or advice would you have for them as they continue on this journey and maybe look for these resources outside of this one event?
Yeah, of course. So first of all, JFF is always here. Just because we are the Jewish Fertility Foundation, we do work hard to help everybody in the community, whether you are Jewish or not. So we are always a resource for you. You are never alone, and we are always here to help. So please always feel free to reach out. If you even just want to talk to somebody about something, we have resources as well. So we are always here.
More information on the event can be found on temple-israel.org/events. And to get in contact with the Jewish Fertility Foundation of Detroit, you can find them on jewishfertilityfoundation.org/Detroit. Taylor, thank you so much for your time today.
Thank you so much.
Once again, Pathways to Parenthood will be taking place on Thursday, November 20th from 7 to 9 p.m. A local neighborhood in West Bloomfield is going forward in the intense process of becoming its very own village. Not too long ago, we were able to get some words from Community Association board member Chris LeDuc to explain how this decision came to be. And delivering this special report is an old friend to the Civic Center team, Daniel Zivian.
I'm at the entrance of Zox Cass Lakeside. It's one of the older subdivisions in West Bloomfield, and it's already in its own little world.
We have our own municipal water system. We have roughly 4 miles of roads that we maintain, 3 miles of canals that we maintain. We have 15 vehicular bridges, and all this infrastructure is over 100 years old. When we started looking around for road funding or for water funding, they assume in the first place that if you're managing all this infrastructure that you must be a municipality, so everything is written with that assumption in mind. And because of it, we don't qualify for any funding.
But without those funds, Cass Lakeside is an infrastructure time bomb. Some homes are separated from the mainland by 4 to 6 bridges.
If we weren't in a position to be able to, say, borrow money as a community to fix the bridges, then that responsibility would be for those individual homeowners. So that means they would either have to split the cost of a $1 million bridge, or they wouldn't be able to get emergency services. Fire trucks, ambulances couldn't come to their house. According to the township attorney, we'd be looking at possibly seeing those houses get condemned.
LeDuc says the process began 3 years ago, only securing approval from the State Boundary Commission earlier this year. LeDuc says it could not have been done without the support of his neighbors.
In a lot of communities, neighbors don't even know each other, and we pack our community center in these meetings that we have about the village. So it feels really good that so many people are willing to get together and take chances and solve problems.
LeDuc says residents will elect a 5-member charter commission this November with 3 chances to approve a charter in August 2026. Taxes will go up, but as LeDuc says, quote, there are no free options. For Civic Center TV, I'm Daniel Zivian reporting.
That charter was approved and they have elected a charter council. But that is going to do it for us today here on the Splash Live. Big thank you to all of our guests and for everybody on the Splash Live team for making this show possible. I've been your host, Jake Schaff, live, local, social. It's the Splash Live on Civic Center TV and 89.3 Lakes FM.